Hey guys, so today I'm going to work in my All About Us album. I'm starting to rush through this album just because it's the end of the year and I try to finish up before the end of the year. So anyways, I have these alphabet chipboards. I got it in a Studio Calico grab bag and I decided to add the S to that vellum piece for my daughter's name. And I usually, every year, I will ask them the same questions and I write down their answers. And it's really nice to look back every year and see how their answers change. And I just wrote her name and her name in Arabic because we are originally from the Middle East. So I like to add that to our album. I'm just going to add those alphas to spell out years. My kids' birthdays are at the end of the year, so I just leave it that the whole year she was 11, and she did turn 12 in October, so to me, she's still 11 in 2016. And all I did was embellish a bit, and I will add that cupcake from her 12th birthday. And I call this layout done. Once I move to the next layout, I have a picture of her favorite bracelet and her little cute wallet. And that's her favorite pillow and stuffed animal. She sleeps with those since she was a little baby, and she loves her pillow and giraffe very, very much. So as you guys know, this album is about our favorites, so every picture is one of her favorites. I'm just going to go through my Tim Holtz and I think I grabbed Sentimental Memory for that picture. And I'm going to journal a bit about her favorite pillow and giraffe in this little 3x4 card. And embellish it a bit because I wanted to cover it. Said I think hello summer or something, and I covered that up. And we'll move on, or I'll journal a bit and then move on to my next layout. So I decide that I'm going to stamp on that picture of her pillow and giraffe, and I do stamp out kind of a big deal because they are a big deal to her. They're so torn up and in really bad shape, but she won't sleep if those two items are not with her. So anyways, I just add some embellishments and move to my next page. My next page is about her best friend. I had to add a little sticky note to his face. But anyways, so I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to use that best friends card. Sometimes, by the way, when I get my cards from my Studio Calico kit and I feel like it would work really well for this album, I set them aside just so I remember that I have layouts that card would work with. And that helps a lot with the speed of doing this album. Anyways, I'm just sticking those two 3x4s together and adding them to the 4x6 pocket. And a fast and easy way to do that is just adding washi to the back of it and stapling your cards. I usually do that if I don't want to waste any 4x6 cards. I also grabbed those big alpha stickers, because I really don't use those so much. They're really big and bulky, but it works well in a small album. And I'm just going to add that little die cut to my 3x4 and just add love to that too. So I decided to move that picture of my daughter's hand with the henna on it. I don't like to put two pictures like above each other for some reason. I don't like that look. But anyways, she loves to do henna, and she always lets her grandmother do it for her. So I'm just going to journal about her love for that, and I stamp out moments on the bottom of that 3x4 card and call that layout done. Once I move to the next layout, these pictures are her love of board games and her little reading nook. All I'm going to do is go through my cards and try to figure out how I'm going to match the cards with the pictures that I have. And I'm going to go through my embellishments because I do want to embellish that bottom left card. And over here I'm just going to write about write a few things that she's obsessed with at the moment. I'm going to add some enamel dots just to bring in some pink to that side of the layout, and start embellishing that 3x4 card. So usually every year I do this album and I start taking pictures of my kids' favorite things. It could be food, it could be best friend, shoes, whatever it is. I start taking pictures throughout the year, and I do add them to my phone in a little album called Favorites. Then I will print them all out around October and add all my cards. It's pretty fast. If you have the pictures and you have, the cards that you believe you can use in this album, it goes by really quick. You can add embellishments or you don't have to. I just like to add a little bit of embellishments to my album, and I like to add different size photos to my album also. So like these photos, I think these are 6x6s, and all I do is I stick them together, and then I will add them to my album without a page protector. And I like doing that. I like to add those embellishments. But if you want to be fast and quick and kind of do one of these every year, you can just not put those embellishments or those extra pictures. But I enjoy doing that. And it still doesn't take me a long time. I always section things out. So as you guys know, my part 1 and 2 were my section, and now it's my daughter's, and then I'll work on my son's later. But it really doesn't take a long time, especially if you keep it simple. And also, one of the reasons I really like to leave it to the end of the year is I can use up all my supplies that I haven't used throughout the year, or I know that I'm not going to use in a different album or on anything else. That helps to kind of get rid of your supplies. And of course, because you need to know what their favorite things are for that year. Anyways, I'm grabbing this other 6x6, and I will add 11 to her balloon. I also, because that was her 11th birthday, and that's why I added that picture. And I found this cute little sentiment, and it said, love your face, I think. And it worked perfect for that picture. So I decide on removing these pictures and actually cutting that down cutting down that page protector to a 4x6, because I didn't have any more pictures and I didn't really want it to end where I have nothing on the other side. So I just cut it down to a 4x6. I kept a little bit on the top from that for the page protector because I wanted to add a tab. And I will add, I think, favorites on that picture. I have to check. Wonderful, those are pictures of her favorite book series, and she reads those at least 3 times a year. And those are the Lemony Snicket books. And I'm just going to add some words to that tab and call that one done. And I like that because now you have kind of a different kind of page protector in the album, which is kind of fun. I also have 2 pictures that I printed out in 6x8, but I decided to use one of these page protectors and cut up my picture. And now it's like a puzzle trying to figure out what picture goes where. And while I'm putting those in, I decide that I'm going to leave one out and just add an embellishment to that page, which I like. You can see through it and it looks pretty cool. So I add that flare, and I'm going to add the next picture on the other side and leave that also empty, but I want to cover that circle, so I just go through my embellishments and add that. I actually add the blue vellum piece inside, and then I add those circles on the outside, the flare and that circle embellishment from the outside. It makes it less bulkier and a different kind of element to my pages or my album. So I want to add my daughter's tooth that fell out. We've been waiting for that tooth to come out so she can get her braces, and I just wanted to add that. So I grabbed an embellishment that said very funny, and I will spell out not on there, and I just added it to my album because I thought it would be fun to add that because she was so excited about losing that tooth. So this next layout is about the things or her hobbies. So I did add her violin and her love of drawing and writing, and I also did take a picture of her gardening or her love to garden, and it will not fit in this layout, so I decided to just add that in a little bag, and I'm going to add a tag and journal on it later on. But as you guys can see here, I punched out that card because it said little artist, I think. But once I punched the yellow out, I like the yellow, so I went with the yellow and decided that I'm going to stamp also. And while I'm stamping, you guys will see that I decide that I'm just going to stamp the first 2 words and then stamp the third one under the 2 words that I stamped in the beginning. But I forgot to put a piece of paper, and I got some ink on the side of the picture. And that's okay. Usually what I do is I'm pretty quick and I'll rub it off with an eraser, and it works really well. It will clean it up. It's not perfect or great, but I mean, it doesn't bother me. Anyways, I'm going to grab that tag, and I decide to stamp out hobby on one side of that tag and journal about her hobbies on the other side of the stamp. And then I'm just going to add that to the bag with her extra pictures because it's a nice kind of addition to the album, and I really didn't want to add any more page protectors to my album. And I think all I'm going to do is just embellish it a bit and move on. So I believe I'm done with my daughter's section of this album, and I will work on my son's very soon. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for subscribing and all the amazing comments you guys leave me. You guys have become more than just subscribers. You guys are like friends now, and I really appreciate every single one of you guys. I really do. Thank you for watching my videos. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!